Hey guys, it's Cameron Review for Pokemon Detective Pikachu. And what Pokemon Detective Pikachu is essentially about is we center on the character of Tim, and he lives in Rhyme City, which is basically the city that lets Pokemon and humans coexist. And he was training to be, a Pokemon catcher and things like that. But after his father's disappearance, he has very much put this on the back burner. He's grown kind of depressed and just very just very jaded and things like that. And he doesn't really seem to have much interest in anything. But one day he stumbles across Pikachu, who he finds out is the only one that he can actually understand. And no one else really can hear Pikachu except for Tim, and Pikachu may actually have some answers regarding his father's disappearance. So the two of them team up, trying to figure out what could have happened to his father, but also try to figure out what's going on with Pikachu, because he also is facing this mystery as well, and that's really all I'm going to say. So Pokemon Detective Pikachu, I'm just going to be honest, I am really not the biggest Pokemon fan. The most exposure I had to it, as a kid, I watched, a couple episodes here and there, but I wasn't, crazy into it, but I did watch a few episodes of it, and I did have Pokemon cards when I was in, 3rd grade, but that ended real quickly because I ended up getting those, basically, I gave them to someone and then I never got them back, so that's basically where my, Pokemon sort of knowledge ends. I don't really have a lot of prior experience with this property. I know it's very popular amongst many people. I know a lot of people really do enjoy it. So going into this film, I wasn't, not looking forward to it, but it wasn't a film that I was absolutely anticipating. And then as the trailers came out, I got really excited for it. This, to me, looked like the definition of a really fun summer popcorn film, and I was really hoping it could be something really great. And I will say this, Pokemon Detective Pikachu is a very fun movie, but it's not as good as I think it's going to be for someone who is a Pokemon fan. And we're just getting to right now, starting off with the cast. And going into this film, I think that's definitely one of the selling points for sure, even for people that aren't fans of Pokemon like myself. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy the cast, and for the most part, everyone does a really great job, but easily the standout is Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, who, honestly, I could not see anyone playing this role better. I know some people really wanted Danny DeVito, but considering what they do with Pikachu here, I just don't think it could have suited him that well. This Pikachu, he's a lot more snarkier, he is a lot more confused at what's going on, and he just is a lot of fun. And I think they did a very good job with taking a character that just says Pika Pika and actually giving him some really fun stuff. I thought he played this role very well. I very much enjoyed him here, and he definitely, for me, is the standout of the entire film. Just a lot of fun for sure. Yes, he is sort of playing Ryan Reynolds, but this is not Deadpool 2.0. That's not at all what they're trying to do. He does have a distinctive character, and I think Reynolds overall did a very good job, and honestly heightened, I think, what could have been a very repetitive and annoying character, and he did a very good job here. And then, of course, there's Justice Smith, who I will say right now, this is definitely the best performance I've seen from him. However, that doesn't mean he was, amazing in this movie. I will say, compared to something like, say, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, he definitely is a lot better here. There are definitely moments in this film where he does a very good job for sure. His interactions with Pikachu are really good. Him and Reynolds definitely do have very good chemistry, and I thought they worked very well together. But then there are moments where I did think he was overacting a bit, and it just was a little bit hard to get into his role. It's not necessarily fully his fault, we'll get into that, but I think overall he did a good job for sure, and this is definitely the best work I've seen from him. But that being said, I still don't think he's all that strong of an actor, and he definitely does prove that here. As far as the rest of the cast goes, everyone else does a very good job. Kathryn Newton is always great, and she definitely does do a very good job here as this reporter. I really did like her here. Chris Geere from You're the Worst is in here, and I thought he did a really great job. He had more to do than I expected. They don't really show him much in the trailers, and there's a good reason for that, but I really did like him here. Bill Nighy is very good, of course, as the person that has made Rhyme City. I thought he definitely did a really good job. Omar Chaparro, I thought was really good. good. And Ken Watanabe, I thought, for what he had, because he's really not in the movie that much, he also did a very good job. And just in general, I thought the entire voice cast was really good. Also, I have to give a shout out. I don't know who voiced Psyduck, but damn did I love this actor. Whoever did the voice performance there, so fun. You could tell they were just so into the role, and I loved this voice actor for sure. I thought Psyduck was such a fun character, and really that is thanks to the voice cast here. Everyone really does do a great job here for the most part. Now, of course, let's get to the directing and the writing, which, of course, the directing here by Rob Letterman, I do think for the most part works very well. He does a very good job with the comedy, which the film is absolutely hysterical. There's a lot of moments that really did get me for sure, and it's not just due to Reynolds. I do think the comedy is very well interweaved here. The mystery element also is really good, but I feel like they could have leaned into that a little bit more. The film is definitely more of a family comedy than a straight-up, noir film. I don't really get the Blade Runner comparisons. I've heard a lot of people say that, and just for me, I don't really get the comparisons. I think it definitely works as a mystery film, but this is not Blade Runner. Like, that's not at all what this is, and I don't really understand all of the comparisons there. But again, I do think that those two things were blended well together. The mystery part of it is really well done, and I do think overall his directing was pretty solid here. In terms of the writing, I do like this story, but I will say right now, this is a very by-the-numbers story. Do not expect to go into this film expecting a lot of complexity and things like that. But again, that really is heightened by the voice cast here, because they really do a really great job. The cast and the voice cast overall. The main story in the film, the whole mystery, there really isn't that much to it. It really is just, let's see what happened to Tim's father, who kidnapped him, why is he gone, and let's try to get some information there. And very quickly, it's easy to tell what's going on. And I think that might be an issue for some people. For me, though, that wasn't really the big issue I had with the film. I thought that, yes, it can be predictable, but I was enjoying it. I kind of wanted it to go in that direction. I liked what they were setting up, and I thought they did a really good job with that. And when we eventually realized what's going on, I thought it worked really well. I thought it made a lot of sense. I liked the story that they were kind of trying to set up, and for the most part, I thought that worked quite well. That's not my problem with the movie. My problem with the movie, for the most part, is the human characters. A lot of them just didn't do for me here. Now, I will say the Ted character, I did like in spots throughout the film. Like I said, his interactions with Pikachu are really good, but for a while, when he's on his own, I was not into this character at all. He doesn't really have a very distinctive motivation. There's not really a lot to latch onto there, because basically his father has died, and he just doesn't seem to care all that much. He's trying to leave Rhyme City. He clearly seems very lost, and I just don't think that this character in general was all that interesting. Once he's paired with Pikachu, though, he becomes far more interesting, and I thought they did a much better job. It was just setting up. I really was not into his character all that much, but that's nothing compared to Kathryn Newton for me, who I thought was extremely underwritten here. She really is just this reporter who is trying to, figure out what's going on, and that's really the only role she plays here. She sort of is a love interest for Ted, but they don't really get into that all that much. It's sort of something that they kind of hint at, but they keep dancing around it, and just in general, she does not play a very significant role in the story. She really is just a reporter trying to get this story to sell because she works for this news agency, and that's kind of all it is. And I want a little bit more there. Again, maybe it's because Newton, I've seen what she can do, and I feel like she deserved a meteor role, but she doesn't really do a lot here, and that was a little bit disappointing for me. But again, a lot of it is heightened by the Pokemon. I mean, just seeing these guys, they are a lot of fun for sure. Psyduck and Pikachu have some great interactions throughout the film, and that's something that I definitely really did enjoy a lot here. I thought they did a very good job with that. There's one gag especially involving this mime that Ted and Pikachu come across, and, you have seen this mime in the trailer, But trust me, they did not waste all of his great material in there. There is some hilarious stuff in them that I thought was probably the funniest stuff in the entire movie. But again, Pikachu has some great one-liners as well. There's some great callbacks that I think a lot of people are very much going to enjoy. There are things, though, that I did not pick up on because, again, I'm not a very avid Pokemon follower. So if you guys love Pokemon, I think you're really going to love this. I saw this with a crowd of very avid fans, and they seem to be so into it. They seem to be loving it, and that's great. I'm very happy that they are. And again, I enjoyed it too, but I think if you're a Pokemon fan, you'll enjoy it that much more, and I think that's something that they did very well here. In terms of the cinematography, this film is very well done. It's very colorful. The Pokemon feel very well interweaved into live action. They never really feel artificial. They actually feel like they blend in there quite well. There was one thing that I was very worried about, but where they end up going with it, I thought was really great. And the climax of the movie is extremely creative. I really loved where they ended up going with that, and I thought it was a really cool direction. I wasn't really expecting it to be as good as it was, but I thought it was a really creative direction, and I liked where they ended up going for sure. So again, the cinematography I thought was really good. The look of Pikachu and things like that, he feels tangible. You could just reach out and, you know, the fur and things like that, all of that just feels very real, and again, it's incorporated very well here. The score I also really enjoyed. It gives you a real sort of 80s you know, noir vibe, and I enjoyed that a lot. I thought it worked very well in the film, and I thought it was, honestly, the score was better than the movie deserved to be. I thought it was a very good score for sure. And the editing, I will admit, there are definitely parts of this movie that did drag on for me, particularly in the first half. Again, I was enjoying it, but it was hard for me to get invested in Ted's character overall. So again, there's a lot of stuff to enjoy here for the most part. I think they definitely did a very good job. My only other real flaw with the movie, though, is, you know, besides the human characters, there is this final twist that they do in this movie, and I really do like the idea of it, but I just don't know if it really makes a lot of sense, at least for me. It was hard to buy into it, but the way they handle it is really well done, and it is very emotionally satisfying. I'm not going to give it away, but I did like where they ended up going with it. And I don't think that's something that a lot of people are going to be able to predict. So again, while the mystery itself you're going to predict, there's another twist that I don't think anyone's going to predict. And I did like the idea of it. I just don't know if the execution was as clear as it should have been. And also, despite the fact that I really was not that invested in Justice Smith's character, I actually do think I would have liked him more if they took more time to set up his story, because they really don't take that much time to delve into who this character really is and what he has lost. There's a couple things they get into, like he wanted to be a Pokemon trainer, and now he's not really focused on that, and that, you know, his father disappeared, and we don't really know what's going on there. But other than that, they really do get very quickly into the whole Pikachu and, you know, Tim pairing. And again, it's adorable and I enjoy it a lot, but I actually do think part of the reason why I didn't really care that much about the character is that they just didn't spend enough time fleshing him out first, and I think if they would have done that, I probably would have cared a lot more than I did. That being said, there are some good emotional moments, though, throughout the film. One involving Pikachu that I actually did think was genuinely touching, and I really did like where they ended up going with it. But again, I think they just should have devoted a little bit more time to the human characters on their own, and then get into the Pokemon of it all. But overall, Detective Pikachu, it's a very fun movie. It has a lot of great callbacks for sure. There's some great animation, some really great humor, some good acting from the cast overall. Justice Smith definitely does the best with what he has here. The human characters, yes, they do feel underwritten, but it really is the Pokemon that really do get you into this world, that I think really are going to get you on board overall, and especially if you're a big Pokemon fan. I mean, like I said, you're going to love this. This has everything that you could possibly want, and I think they did a very good job with that for sure. So overall, I definitely did have a decent time with this film, and I am going to give Pokemon Detective Pikachu overall a B-. So like I said, guys, in my review of Pokemon Detective Pikachu, let me know what you guys thought of this movie overall, left your thoughts in. Are you a Pokemon fan? If you're not, are you still looking forward to this movie? We'll see you guys. Like I said, I think there's enough there for even people that aren't Pokemon fans. I think you'll still enjoy this overall. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you guys in my next video, and we'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.